Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm back. It's been about a year now since we've done anything on the 24 Dodge Brothers. I will take complete blame for that. Bought a house, moved, got pushed to the back burner, bought like 7 cars since then, sold half of those, and then got other projects which I'm keeping just barely off camera so you can't see it because those are in future videos. Not much of an excuse, but an excuse nonetheless. So, good news though, we've been back at it, we've been working on it a lot. Took a while to get parts, not that with some of the supply chain stuff going on, took a little while, but overall turned out pretty good. So we did a couple of things. We dropped the fuel tank, got all of it cleaned out. It's not the original tank, somebody just took some about 1/8 inch thick steel, made a round tank for it, threw it in the back, and it works. Put a new fuel pump, fuel filter, fuel pressure regulator, and a fuel gauge on it, or a fuel pressure gauge on it, just because with these being downdraft cars, I think originally they only had maybe 2.5 pounds of fuel pressure. So did all that, put the tank in it, got the fuel pump wired up, then had some issues with the ignition. So the points were fine, the rotor was fine, the cap was fine. The condenser actually had the tiniest piece of metal broke that was a strap going from the block to the, so grounding the condenser into the coil and then going into the coil. So it was broke, had a hairline fracture in it. It took me a while to kind of track it back that far, mainly because I'd work on it for an hour when I had time, then I'd get busy and forget about it and come back and start in a different spot. So did that, made a set of spark plug wires for it, put new plugs in it, and we got it running. So one thing I did leave out though, I did rebuild the starter generator on it. That was a pain in the butt to get off. You have a chain drive that actually drives it, and you have this tiny master link, and if you lose it, the whole chain falls in the bottom of the oil pan, and then that's another ordeal. Anyways, got it all rebuilt. And now it's turning over and should be able to run. So we're going to show you all that today and maybe take it on its first drive. It's a little cloudy here in Kentucky. It might rain on us. No idea if this thing's going to overheat. No idea. Really, it's not moved much past the driveway. So could go great, could go awful. Could call my buddy with a rollback at the end of it, but we'll see. All right. So just another close look at the Dodge Brothers before we fully get it running. So you can see just new plug wires, nothing special. All that looks like chemicals or like something spilled across the top of the engine is penetrating oil. Put a good bit of it down the cylinders before really cranking it over when I had the plugs out. Something interesting that I noticed, we've got a heck of an exhaust leak here. I don't know if you guys can see it. So when this thing fires up, I'll try to do a video in the car, but it's going to be near impossible to hear me talk, so we might just play some music over it. And for all those who watched the second video that we did, I promise not to put techno music in it because everybody hated that, understandably so. The other thing that I noticed, this is part of the intake, and they actually welded this at one point in time to the exhaust manifold. So what I'd like to do eventually is to find a new exhaust or another exhaust manifold. I'll take it up to my buddy who has an engine machine shop. We'll smooth it back out and hopefully get rid of our leak that we've got going on here so it can be a lot quieter. The water pump leaks ever so slightly out of the ends. Not a big deal right now. I'm not going to be driving this anywhere near far enough to matter that I could hurt something by overheating it. So for now we're just going to leave it because it's low on my priority list. Also would love to find a much more authentic, this is authentic, but would also love to find a radiator cap that's the dog bone style that then has an actual thermostat or a thermometer in it. Because right now I have no idea how hot, cold, or anything the engine is. Started cleaning the car up a little bit, and you can definitely see, and I hope it shows up in the camera, how chipped and cracked the paint is. So I've really been putting off washing it. So yes, it does look, it's dirty to begin with, but it still looks pretty dirty. Over here I wiped it down a little bit more, and definitely not pretty by any means, but not bad overall. I don't think we did much of an interior shot, but just to give everybody an idea, definitely bring a fire extinguisher just so nothing burns to the ground. But overall pretty clean, definitely not original interior. The seat's wrong, the door panels are wrong, etc. But hey, it suits me just fine. Definitely going to be a driver, not something that I'm ever going to try to restore to show quality. Just keep it good enough to keep it on the road and then taken to car shows and stuff like that. Yeah, you can really see here how bad it's chipping, although I'll probably take the trunk off and repaint it. And then we had a little bit of rust start here. Get that fixed and put a new paint there, put some new paint there as well. Completely legal now, thank goodness. DMV was a little bit confused when I told him it's a 1924 Dodge Brothers. The lady was very insistent that it's a Dodge, and I said, well, not exactly, but we got that straightened out. All right, well, we'll get in it, see if it'll start up and go from there. You guys won't be able to see this very well, but I had a lot of trouble. Well, not a lot of trouble. I had a little bit of trouble and got lazy as far as getting the fuel pump to ground. So I've ran a wire from the fuel pump itself just up here to the 12-volt ground. Just makes life easier for now. Eventually I'll go in and clean a lot of this stuff up, but my main goal was just getting it running and make sure that we could get it running before I wasted a lot of time and money on something that would end up getting torn further apart. All right, we'll get the battery hooked up. So these things were a 3-speed manual, non-synchronized of course. Seems to shift well. Of course you have to RPM match. If you can't see it very well in the video, the oil gauge itself is cracked, so when it has pressure, it slowly drips oil on your feet just to let you know that it's still got oil in the car. Works for me. Eventually we'll get it replaced if I can ever find an original spare. If not, I'll tie an aftermarket gauge and kind of tuck it up under the dash and call it good, but here goes nothing. Alright, well, I haven't started it in a couple days, so this is about as cold of a start as you can get. That's the fuel pump kicking on. You can hear that we just got pressure because it got a lot quieter. And see what it does. Oh. Almost. I don't know if everybody will be able to hear me, but I took a little bit and some fiddling with it, and there it is, running as smooth as can be. Well, and by smooth, not very. There we go. Let's see if we can get it out of here. Okay, we got the car out of the garage. We're gonna take it maybe a mile down the road. I kind of live on a main road, so definitely gonna not go too far because this thing will block all kinds of traffic. No faster than it goes. We'll go about a mile down and then turn around and come back and see how well it does. Hopefully we don't have to call a tow truck, but we'll see. I made it. It definitely might not be the healthiest thing in the world. It struggled a little bit to get up that last hill back up to the house. But you know what? For 98 years old, going on 99, and we'll call it 100 just because, did pretty good. Best I can tell, this thing mechanically hasn't had a restoration at all. It only had a body restoration. So anything that's in there right now is still just the same as back in 1924. So it's got soft seats in it, not hardened valve seats or anything like that. So overall, you know what? I think it's doing all right. Please like, subscribe, comment, etc. Let me know your thoughts on this. If we can get above 1,000 subscribers, it'll really help me out and help me justify putting more money into projects like these and several other that I have. So we'll have an update video soon on the 67 LTD. Once that's out, I've got anything from fastback Mustangs to Fox body Mustangs to Chevy trucks from the 50s, old first generation Hemi cars, etc. That are all kind of out there that I know about that I think I can buy and do some more videos like what we have been doing on it. So if you're interested, like I said, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.